The great mystic, Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans, once said, "All troubles come to an end when the ego dies." These words carry the essence of Adhyatmic moksha, spiritual liberation, pointing toward a truth echoed across Hinduism, Buddhism and countless wisdom traditions. The ego, that persistent sense of I and mine, is the root of all suffering. It is the veil that separates us from the divine, from peace and from the true nature of reality. When the ego dissolves, what remains is pure consciousness, unburdened, limitless and free. In Hinduism, the ego is often referred to as ahankar, the false identification with the body, mind and personal identity. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that attachment to the ego leads to desire and desire breeds suffering. Lord Krishna advises Arjuna to rise above the illusion of the self, to act without attachment and to surrender the fruits of action. When one stops claiming ownership over deeds and outcomes, the weight of the world lifts. The ego is like a drop of water, fighting to remain separate from the ocean. Only when it merges does it realize it was never alone. Buddhism, too, speaks of anatta or anatma, meaning no self. The understanding that what we call I is merely a collection of ever-changing thoughts, sensations, and perceptions. The Buddha taught that clinging to this illusion is the cause of dukkha, suffering. When we stop identifying with our thoughts, our possessions, even our pain, we find liberation. The ego is a shadow, and like all shadows, it disappears in the light of awareness. The ego is a master of disguise. It thrives on comparison, pride, and fear. It whispers, "I am better than them," or "I am not good enough." It clings to past regrets and future anxieties, never allowing the mind to rest in the present. Ramana Maharshi, the saint from Arunachal, would often say that the only real question is, "Who am I?" By persistently inquiring into the nature of the self, the ego's grip loosens, revealing the boundless awareness beneath. In daily life, the ego manifests as anger when criticized, jealousy when others succeed, and sorrow when expectations fail. But when we observe these emotions without claiming them as ours, they lose their power. The Zen masters say, "Let go or be dragged." The choice is simple: either we release the ego or it will pull us through endless cycles of suffering. To kill the ego does not mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means acting from a place of wisdom rather than selfishness. A river does not stop flowing. When it merges into the sea, it becomes part of something vast. Similarly, when the ego dissolves, life continues, but without the constant struggle of I, me, and mine. The Sufi poet Rumi beautifully expressed this when he wrote, "You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop." Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans himself demonstrated this through his childlike devotion to the Divine Mother, Ma Kali. He had no sense of personal doership. His actions were offerings, his life a prayer. His teachings remind us that humility is not weakness, but the highest strength. When the ego is absent, there is no one left to be offended, no one to feel deprived, no one to fear loss. How does one live without the ego? The path is neither easy nor quick, but it begins with awareness. What's the mind's tendency to claim, to judge, to separate? Meditation, self-inquiry, and devotion are powerful tools. The Buddhist practice of mindfulness teaches us to observe thoughts without attachment. The Hindu path of bhakti, devotion, dissolves the ego in love for the divine. Even simple acts of service, when done selflessly, erode the ego's walls. Lord Krishna says in the Gita, "The wise see knowledge and action as one." True knowledge is realizing the ego's illusion. True action is performing duties without selfish motives. When a potter shapes clay, he does not think, "I am creating this pot." He simply creates. In the same way, when we act without the burden of ego, life becomes an effortless dance. When the ego dies, what remains? Peace, love, unity. The Upanishads declare that Tvamasi, thou art that. You are not the small self you believed yourself to be, you are the infinite. The Buddha called it nirvana, liberation or moksha from the cycle of suffering. Christ spoke of the kingdom of heaven within. All these point to the same truth: the end of trouble is the end of the illusion of separation. The world will continue to challenge, but the one who has transcended the ego remains untouched. Like a lotus in muddy water, such a person lives in the world, but is not stained by it. The great Kabir said, "When the ego was, God was not. Now God is, and the ego is no more." The death of the ego is not a physical event, but a moment-to-moment surrender. Each time we choose compassion over pride, stillness over reaction, and love over fear, the ego weakens. The journey is not about becoming perfect, but about seeing through the illusion. As Sri Ramakrishna's words remind us, all troubles truly end when the ego dies. Not because the world changes, but because we do. In that freedom, there is no more struggle, only boundless peace, only the eternal now. The choice is ours to remain trapped in the ego's endless drama, or to awaken to the truth that has always been here. Will you take the first step? If you found this video knowledgeable and inspiring, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, Healthy Natural Remedies, for more useful, uplifting and motivational content, and share it with those who need it. Until next time, stay motivated, stay inspired and keep shining. Shubham Bhavtu.